Hello, my most beautiful, amazing, dope ass souls. It's your girl, Tina Marie J. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, make sure that you are following me on my Instagram, Tina Marie _J, where I, for the most part, do post daily posts on there. Sometimes I post different things. So make sure you're following me there. Also, if you have any questions or anything like that, you can always send me a DM because I'm on there more than I am on Facebook. So I mostly use it for things like this. So you can hit me up and that'll be the best way. Otherwise, you can also follow me on Facebook and my email, which is down below in the description box. So if you have any questions or whatever, all right. Now I want to get started straight into this video. All right, so if first, I'm gonna do a quick little warning. If you are a believer, if you're a follower of Christ, you consider yourself to be Christian, this is just a quick little warning. I am going to be very 100% honest. And when I say honest, I don't mean like, oh, what I'm saying is facts, because everything I feel and believe are my opinion, and I completely understand that. But I am going to be honest with how I feel about things. And a lot of the things I describe are things that a lot of other people may feel familiar to. They may feel like they feel the same way. But the problem is that when it comes to the non-religious community, it's kind of difficult for us to be allowed to express who we really are and what we really feel without being told that we need Jesus, or being told that we need to turn back to Christ and we need to repent and we need to be prayed for and we're sinners and our heart needs to be healed and softened and all that stuff. It's like it comes with so much. You know, it's never just, okay, nice to meet you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I just speak the opinions of how we feel. A lot of us feel, a lot of us. I'm not going to try to say I speak for everybody, but I'm pretty sure I speak for a lot of us who are no longer Christian. And someone like me, I grew up in Christianity basically my whole life. I went to Sunday school every single Sunday. I'll be honest, I hated it. I only liked Sunday school a little bit when I was young, because of the fact that I got to hang out with other little kids. But other than that, like as I got older, I hated it. It felt like torture to go to Sunday school, and then being a part of the church service felt like even more torture. So my dad was also a pastor. My mom is still a Christian. I completely respect it. I do have Christian friends, but I am no longer a Christian. I left Christianity in 2017. And what made me really find myself to be closer to non-believer than I was to believer was when I started having these thoughts where I would just think, you know what, I've always kind of thought about this, but I never felt safe to touch that spot, you know, to touch that, go into that zone. Like I can't go there because it's sinful. And a Christian isn't supposed to ask these questions. A Christian is supposed to think these things. And people will say, it's okay to ask questions. The Bible says it's okay. And I would ask questions, but I still felt like, well, it didn't really get answered. You know, like you answered it, but your answer doesn't feel right for me. Like something about it feels very off. So because of the fact that I had took a break from going to church after being a part of a very toxic church for 7 years, it allowed me time to be to myself and allowed me to do my own research. And I started reading the Bible, and I'll be honest, I could barely get anywhere in the Bible because I just couldn't take the First Testament. It really bothered me. I felt very uncomfortable. I felt like I was reading a lot of negativity. I know it gets better in the New Testament, but I wanted to read everything because I never felt I never felt like I could read the Old Testament, because the church I was in, they focused on the New Testament, and they would tell me to, for some reason, they would always tell me to ignore the New Testament. I mean, the Old Testament, but I know now why. But at the time, I just was like, I don't know why they always tell me not to read the Old Testament. Like I'll be reading something from the Old Testament. They say, oh, no, you should read this instead. You should read this instead. And it's like either Revelations or something else is in the New Testament, Matthews or whatever. So when I wasn't going to church, I didn't have anybody to tell me what to do, or anybody to look over my shoulder and see if I'm praying or if I'm reading the Bible or if I'm going to church on Sunday. I didn't have anybody to tell me. So I only had me. And I was very confused because I didn't really know where I was going with my thinking. I knew that I was beginning to feel like maybe church is not something I need to do to follow and worship God, but I also knew that I had all these other thoughts that just felt uncomfortable to think because of the simple fact that I felt like I wasn't allowed to go there. Like I said, I wasn't allowed to go there. So I would continue to think these thoughts, and I decided, let me do more research. Then I had other people tell me, like, pinpoint me in different directions, like, oh, Tina, go read this article, go watch this video, learn about this thing. Have you ever heard about that? And then I started learning. Like, I started learning, and the more that it just started very quickly. Like, the more that I read and learned, the more that my mind began to open. And as my mind began to open up, things made more sense to me. Like, things that used to make sense to me as a Christian didn't make sense to me anymore. And it was slowly fading. And I started to realize, like, you know what? I think this is just kind of ingrained in me, because in all honesty, I mean, I was basically born into Christianity. I didn't get a choice of what to believe. Like, what if I had a choice? What if I had a choice of what to believe? What if I was given, everything, but wasn't told, okay, but you have to choose this? I mean, most households don't share everything. I mean, some people do. Some people like, oh, we believe in God and we read the Bible sometimes. We go to church on Christmas and Easter, but we're not really religious. So that's kind of like almost like the best of both worlds. If people think that's terrible, right? But what if I was given something like that? Then which one would I naturally gravitate to? I mean, my mom wasn't raised in religion like that. I mean, she went to Catholic school and stuff, but she ended up leaving from being a Catholic to being a Christian when she was like 20 something. And she told me my grandmother was upset because my family is Hispanic and a lot of Hispanics are Catholic. So my mom told me my grandmother was upset about that because she's like, I raised you to be a Catholic. You did all the Catholic stuff. What happened? So that was basically, I don't know, like my mom just changed her mind on her own. That was basically her choice. But what if I was given a choice? Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling. I'm sorry, I apologize. I go off sometimes. But yeah, but it may be the same way for you. So when you are in Christianity, yes, you do feel confined. No, you're not crazy for feeling that way. Yes, that's a feeling that a lot of us have had. And I think that that's a feeling a lot of people continue to have and will always have as long as religion still exists. As long as Christianity still exists, and I am not saying that it shouldn't exist. I'm not saying, oh, let's rid all of Christianity of the universe. Like, I'm not one of those people who's gonna, comes on YouTube and is like, no more Christians, no more. Like, I'm not. Why? What's the point? Everyone has a right to choose. So the same way that people have a right to choose religion, we have a right to choose other things, or no religion or spirituality. So in 2017, like I said, I ended up leaving Christianity, and I started to learn more about myself and spirituality, and I felt so free in spirituality. Some people think spirituality is a religion. The reason why I personally don't consider it a religion is because it's nothing like you have to follow. It's not like, okay, we have to do this and we have to do that. No, spirituality is such a huge, like a plethora of things. You could be spiritual and the most spiritual thing you do is probably meditate, and then consider yourself spiritual because during meditation you feel one with the universe, one with God. You believe in a creator, but you feel like something spiritual outside of religion is more likely to be accurate than something that comes from a Bible. Like, you don't have to walk around wearing some yoga pants and have plants around you and freaking crystals and tarot card spread. Like, you don't have to do all that to be spiritual. So that's the reason why I don't feel like it's really considered religion. It's something I could practice on my own. It's something I can enjoy with somebody else. But I do consider myself to be spiritual. And when I left religion, I felt free to be able to learn what I wanted, the things that I wasn't allowed to learn before. And so when I became free, I learned more about things that led me towards spirituality. So it wasn't like I really knew what spirituality was, or like I really like geared myself towards it on purpose. Like, let me check this new thing out. It was literally nothing like that. I just started having these experiences, these what we like to call awakening. I had these enlightening experiences, and I started to question things more. And then things just started to fall into place and felt like it made so much sense to me. And I was like, wow, I've never felt so much like myself until now. Like, I really haven't. I've never felt like me. I felt like I knew who I was, and I knew who the me was, because only a small select few were allowed to know who that person was. But the me that I was supposed to really be as a Christian, I've always battled. That's why when I was a teenager, when I was in high school, my mom forced me to go to teen youth group at my church every Thursday night. And I thought I'd make all these friends. And then I come to find out that they sit the boys all the way on the right side and the girls stay on the left side. And if you're caught talking to a boy, then you're freaking cursed out in Christian language and freaking told that you're a little whore. And yes, that I was told that by my Christian group leader. He saw me talking to a boy. I was introducing myself because the boy was new. He was new with a group of other kids. And so I introduced myself. I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was kind of cute. I ended up dating him for a little while. I was 16. I was a teenager, for God's sake. And I wasn't flirting at all. I was just literally introducing myself. And so my Christian group leader drove me home, and he told me that I look like a whore. And he was like, "You're like a whore, a little whore. And what are you doing? You shouldn't be talking to boys like that, because boys like that, blah, blah, blah." Like, as if he was my dad. I was like, wow, like, you're really yelling at me? So that kind of made me feel uncomfortable. And then on top of that, boys and girls were not allowed to hang out. So even though I was friends with the girls, we were also friends with the boys. But once we left that night and went home, we were not allowed to try to link up, because I suggested a whole group of like 10 of us go roller skating. And one of the girls were like, no, we can't do that because we're not allowed to hang out with boys. I was like, well, that's stupid. In high school, I had so many male friends. I had both. But like, I've always been cool with anybody. I literally have, in my opinion, personality, I could become cool with whoever, as long as you're a cool person. It doesn't have to be anything. But in Christianity, I felt confined, because even as an adult, I was like, wow, I really cannot just be myself. So, that's feels like you're walking on eggshells, feels like you cannot be who you are. You cannot be the person you are. You cannot just be friendly with everyone. You cannot and whoever you are, if you're a person who loves rock music and you're told you can't listen to rock music because it comes from the devil, you just can't be yourself. Now what the hell? You can't listen. So now you have to force yourself to listen to some gospel rock that deep down inside you really don't like it, but you have to pretend to love it because this is what we do on Sundays. And our youth group leader is our teen rock Christian music guy. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is not, again, this is my opinion. I don't claim that this is what everybody thinks when they leave religion, but a lot of people do. And these are just thoughts that I just speak out because these are feelings I've always had personally. Open-minded by nature. So when I say open-minded by nature, I know I kind of just jumped into that. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to move along. I'm looking at my notes and realizing I forgot I even had notes. So I feel that certain people by nature are very open-minded, and those people are people who tend to be very creative. They're curious, they're learners, they want to learn different things. And a lot of creative people like this. A lot of creative people, I believe, are by nature open-minded, but when you're feeling confined in religion, you can't be that open-minded, can you? You really can't. You cannot just be open to everything. Every door can't be open in your mind. You have to keep it safe because Satan is out there, the devil, because you have to keep it within with God, within God's reach. If you're going to be open-minded and explore and learn and be creative, that's cool, but make sure it's in honor and to please the Lord. That's what you hear. That's what you hear. So for instance, I knew a girl who loved to sing. She loved to sing, and she was trying to be a singer. She was even on like this show back in like 2000 and something, and she won. It was a singing competition to be with the Pussycat Dolls, but she lasted for like a month. I don't know what the hell. But anyway, so she was actually told she couldn't come back to church because of that, because of the fact that she would sing and she would dance, and she had no interest in singing and dancing in the church. So she would tell me, well, I can't be a regular singer. Like, I want to do R&B and pop music, but I can't. I have to only do gospel. And it kind of sucks because I'm not happy when I sing gospel. I remember one day in our youth group, one of the leaders were like, we were talking about our dreams and our goals, and they're like, oh, well, Tina, you know, if you're going to be a writer, you have to write only for God. And then they said to her, oh, well, remember, if you're going to sing, it has to only be in honor of God, not the music you like. And so that's my example of what I mean when I say, by nature, if you're someone naturally, you're somebody who's very open-minded, you're somebody who's very creative, you have a lot of thoughts, you may feel like you cannot really invest it the way you want to invest it. You can't put into it the way you want to put into it. It's like your ideas and your thoughts become very suppressed when you feel confined in religion. Your ideas and your thoughts become very suppressed. And whatever natural abilities you have, natural gifts you have, it feels like it becomes minimized. It feels like it becomes minimized, or you just completely suppress it for the sake of your religious beliefs. Like the girl that I explained who loved to sing, but she was told that it had to be only for God. But she admitted to me that she had no interest in gospel music. She actually didn't really like gospel music. She had no interest in writing and singing gospel music. And so, in my opinion, her ability, which she was extremely talented, she danced and sang very well, like performer style, it was minimized. In my opinion, her ability, her talents, her gifts that was God-given was minimized, because now it's like, let's just shrink it just a ton. You can sing, but you cannot sing this, and that. You know, it's like, well, that's what I want to sing. Why can't I just sing my own love music? Why can't do some nice R&B, hip-hop type, slow-mo love music? Why I can't do that? Nah, unless it's love music talking about how much you love Jesus. You know, so you feel very like, so suppressed, and you feel confined. And obviously, don't start right now. He's bored. He needs me to massage him. He's so spoiled. You made me forget what I was gonna say. He completely threw me off. Oh yes, that's what I was gonna say. Obviously, not everyone. This doesn't apply to everybody, but a lot of people who are find themselves in this situation where they have either recently left religion or they feel the urge to leave religion. A lot of people feel this way. So if that is you, then let me know in the comments below if anything here resonates. Also, before I continue, make sure that you do like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you do like this video and you are enjoying this video, make sure that you do subscribe. And when you do subscribe, press the bell. Make sure it gives you the notifications. So set notifications to all. That way you will know every time a new video comes out. All right, so back to what I was saying. I'm looking at my notes. All right, so what God actually created for us and blessed us with, like I said before, our natural talents, our natural abilities, it's almost like sometimes it can feel like it's becoming insignificant. It can feel like it's suddenly, or you may have been told it's sinful. Well, I love to do this, but I can't because it's considered sinful. There's something wrong with it. I shouldn't do things like that. I should do this instead, or I should enjoy this instead because this is too sinful. I love to write romance novels, but I can't anymore because it's sinful, you know, and now it's insignificant. Now there's no significance to it. You know how many people I've spoken to who told me that they left religion and they had to try to find a way back to doing the things they enjoyed. And they would tell me when they was a part of religion, they kind of just stopped doing these things because they felt like it wasn't important or as important. Trying to reach to God's love and God's kingdom is more important than the things that they enjoy in life, the things that make them smile, the things that make life worth living. You know how many people? And it's crazy because I felt like that for a very long time myself before I left religion. So that may be another thing you may be dealing with too. And these are all the reasons why we feel so confined that I'm mentioning too. These are all the reasons for most people. and including me when I was a part of religion, of why people who are a part of Christianity feel so confined. It all just boils down to, at the end of the day, you feel like you just simply cannot be who you are. All your joys, your likes, your interests, it all must be directed towards God, Jesus, the Christian religion. Just like the example that I had made before, about the girl who had to try to force herself to do gospel music because it was too sinful to do any pop or R&B music. Everything that you enjoy, everything you love, you have to now only do it according to God's will and to please God. I remember I used to be so tempted to just go to a lounge because I love to dance. And I'll be so tempted to go to a lounge because that was what I always did. I always, I partied and stuff or whatever. But my church will be like, nope, you can't do that anymore. If you're going to dance and party, you got to dance with us when we have our little Christian parties, celebrations. No wine, no vodka, nothing. Nothing. Just water with a lemon and some nice entrees. And the music wasn't bad. In times when the music was actually good, you always see that one or two Christians who are like really just like so stuffy. And they're just looking like, oh, who chose this DJ? Oh my heavens. And you're just like, yes, this is the best DJ I've heard since before I met all you guys. And this is how I felt. I felt like I could not have any fun unless it was with those people in my church. And I started sneaking. I will be honest. I am going to confess. I began to sneak and go to bars and lounges. I began to go. I mean, come on. I live in New York. There's no way you could live in New York and ever be bored, ever. I would go with my best friend who did not go to church with me. I even had one friend who did go to church with me, and I would go with her. And we would go bar hop, and we wouldn't tell not one soul. Hold on, let me let him out the room because he's barking. I'm about to mute myself real quick. All right. So yeah, a lot of my interests, I felt like it had to always be catered to God. And I, at times, didn't want to, because at times I just didn't feel that way. And I felt like it was sinful for me to not want to cater or do everything that would be considered Christian-like. If I saw a dress I liked, I was like, damn, man, I would so have worn a dress like that if I wasn't a Christian. And I'm not saying that people who are Christian feel this way too, because some people really don't mind that. I mean, I did get to a certain point where I didn't mind not wearing bikinis anymore, not wearing certain dresses, not wearing crop tops, not going to a club, not going to a lounge, not going to a bar. Like there was a point where I did begin to be okay with that, except for the wine part, because some Christians do drink wine, I guess because it was in the Bible. But I did continue my wine drinking. I stopped for a very short time. I actually wasn't even a wine drinker until I was like 30. But I was more of like a vodka person, and I started drinking wine because I thought it would be a little less sinful, and even that was a little boring for me. So I felt very confined in that aspect as well. But I didn't feel all the time like I wanted to direct everything I loved and enjoyed and did centered around God. Because, I mean, for me, I felt the pressure to have to do that, but it just didn't feel like me. And going back to women's attire, bikinis, crop tops, what you're wearing. Now, I've never really been a super, super showy female. I don't, okay, yes, I was when I was like 20. But besides that time, I was a lot younger. I've never really been in general the type of female that will walk around looking half naked and want all this crazy attention. I've never really been like that, like, yes, I do enjoy my crop tops. Why? Because I have a small waist And one day I may be super wrinkly and I won't have such a small waist, or I will have a small waist, but it'll be very wrinkly because I'll be old, and that is just fine. And my skin will not look the same and I will not look as youthful. That's going to happen. So I enjoy my crop tops. I do. I enjoy a certain type, certain lengths. And that's me. As a Christian, I had to put that aside. I couldn't because it was not considered godly. It was considered seeking attention, and I couldn't wear my bikinis anymore. I had to wear tankinis, and I felt so, ugh. I was just like, oh my goodness. I feel ancient in this thing. It's ugly. I don't even like it. And no disrespect to anyone who likes tankinis. Just tankinis personally are not my style. Just certain things. And as women, sometimes, not to say that in order to feel good about yourself, you have to wear something showy. Because of course, there's a lot of outfits you can wear that are not so showy. There are like long dresses that are not so showy, but sometimes it may show your curvature. And if you're a Christian, you don't want all your curves to show, so you wear some big fluffy puffed out thing. But when you leave Christianity, you don't care, and you can still cover it up, because I'm not like a huge cleavage shower, but you can still cover it up and still let your figure show, because you're proud of it and you're a woman and you have every right to be proud of your figure. You were made and created to look the way that you do, which is why your man finds you attractive. And every time you get out the shower, there he is hiding behind the bush, because that's just what men do. And that is okay. And so when I left Christianity, I realized this about my body. So you do become a little more open to what you choose in terms of your style, in terms of your fashion, your clothing choices. Moving along, LGBTQ community. They live their life as someone that they're not. Live their life as someone that they're not. So this has always bothered me. I've always had such a soft side for the LGBTQ community. I got thrown off because I heard my neighbor. I've always felt a heart for this community of people. I've had and still have a lot of friends and family who are part of the community. There he goes. Now he wants Spark to come in. See what I mean? But I think for me, it's just more like, I can't even really choose words to say. It's more than just heartbreaking. It's more than just sad. It's more than just messed up. But a lot of people they're in that church and they're a part of that community, and they cannot live their life the way that they feel that they are. They can't live as who they are. And there are a lot of people who will go years, like they'll be a part of religion for years and years and years, and they will never, never open up. And you know how much that really could kill a person inside. And then not even just the fact that they feel those feelings, but the fact that in their mind they've been told for so long that you're not supposed to feel this way. You're not supposed to be gay. You're not supposed to be a lesbian. You're not supposed to want to be in a different body. You're supposed to be who God created you. And if you do feel this way, maybe that's Satan. Therefore, you need to pray more. You need to do A, B, C, and D more. Like, these are the things you're going to hear. And then they go through their whole life with these thoughts and these fears and these worries. And then you wonder why a lot of people who are part of the gay community end up taking, not a lot, but there are people who, mental health, depression, suicide, they take their life. And it's really heartbreaking. It's really, really sad. It's really beyond sad to see how that happens. I've known people personally in those situations, and I always am the first one to be like, listen, if you ever want to come out of your closet, even though I know you've been peeking out for some time now, it's okay. You can talk to me, because I am completely open. I feel personally, as an ex-Christian, I do believe in that whole love is love. I do. Even though, yes, our parts don't match, but I also kind of believe in like past lives, and I believe that there is something else out there we don't know, which is why some people come into this life and they're just like, I don't feel comfortable in this body, because maybe in their past life they were whatever was opposite. They were that that sex in the past life. And I don't know, these are just my thoughts. I just feel like even though my thoughts, I could be completely wrong, just the simple fact that I know that what's true is that there are so many different options that are out there, different ideas that we don't know about. And we could sit here and say, no, that doesn't exist. But how do you know it doesn't exist? You've never witnessed it. So how do you know there's not more? How do you know that there's not more to it than just what the church and Christianity and the Bible tells you? Let me let this dog in because he's gonna drive me crazy. I'm sorry, one moment. All right, I'm sorry. All right, so yeah, that's just how I feel about that. So they basically live this life and they're honestly beautiful people. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people. Normal freaking people who just happen to love the same sex. Like, okay, big deal. What does it have to do with you? Why does it concern you what they're doing? And I that's just how I see it. I feel like it's not fair. I feel like a person should be able to say, I believe in God, but I also am not attracted to this sex. Because it's not fair to try to force someone to be attracted to something not attracted to. Like me, I'm heterosexual. I'm attracted to men. Now, if someone were to come to me and say, Tina, you must be attracted to women or else you're sinning. If you love God, if you truly love God, you'll be attracted to women. How hard is it gonna be for me to forcefully force myself to be attracted to women? I mean, I'll be honest, women are beautiful. I don't think it'll be as difficult as it may be for a man to be attracted to a man. But to be attracted enough to be like, I'm committing myself to this one thing, no, because I'm still gonna feel that attraction towards men, the experience of feeling a man, all of that stuff. That's what I like. That's what I just naturally like. And it's the same thing with people who are part of the LGBTQ community. They like what they like. They cannot explain, nor should they have to, because it's what they prefer, it's what they feel gravitated to, is what they love. So they shouldn't have to explain the way we don't have to explain why we're heterosexual. And I just feel like when it comes to the Christian community, a lot of them are not accepted as normal human beings. And for those who are, I give it all up to those Christians who do accept and who don't say, nope, you can't come to this church. But I have seen many Christians turn people in that community away, or try to make them suppress their feelings and pray pray the gay out of them and pray Jesus into their heart, and make them know that it's been Satan the whole time. And at the end of the day, it's like, it sounds ridiculous. And these are my personal opinions. Again, I told you, I warned you from the start of this video. I told you, I warned you already. So that's basically how I feel about confinement. I know that's a lot, but it really is a lot to unpack. That's how I personally feel. And I feel that if you are a Christian watching this or listening to this video, um, at least maybe now you can see a little bit more of how a lot of us feel. How a lot of us who either were a part of Christianity and left, or are on our way out of Christianity because we feel ourselves moving in different direction, asking questions, learning things, and being like, oh snap, I don't know if I really believe this as much as I thought I did. This is a good little insight for you to see exactly, how a lot of us may think. And it's not anything disrespectful towards the Christian community. I think what it is that when you are an ex-Christian and you speak your mind and your thoughts and your complete full heart about how you truly feel about religion, it's not accepted and it's deemed sinful or evil, and you're not allowed to express. Yet the Christian community is allowed to express, no matter how much we don't agree with their thoughts and ideas and what they believe and their ideology. And so it's like, it's okay, I can express it because I'm a Christian and I'm doing the right thing, but you're doing the wrong thing automatically because my religion says you are. So it's very one-sided. It's very one-sided. But I feel that as ex-Christians, we have every right to be honest and say, no, I don't believe in that. No, I'm not interested in attending your church. No disrespect, but I'll most likely be bored and fall asleep. And it doesn't make sense for me to spend my gas money going over there because I'm not going to be listening whatsoever. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And you don't have to say all that, but I'm saying if you wanted to, you know, for the pushy Christians who are like, well, why? Well, may I ask why? As soon as they start the sentence with may I, you already know that they're just going to go into a whole speech about why you should turn your life to Christ. Okay, well, may I ask why you don't want to attend my church on Sunday? Okay, well, may I? Okay, no problem. Yes, you may ask. And now, since you may ask, I may tell you the full truth. And my full truth is that I am bored. I don't believe in it. I don't want to attend because it's boring. I'm always hungry. They talk too much. I have no interest in meeting Christian friends because, for the, you know, most part, more than likely 9 times out of 10, that Christian friend is probably gonna try and tell me why I should become a Christian. Unless you happen to be invited into one of those really good churches, which I have before, and I would attend to this day if I wanted to, because I can, and because I know a lot of people there. And if I don't want to go, then no one bothers me. So I literally decide if I want to go or not. I'm not claiming to be religious or a Christian, but I go for support and for the support of those that I know who are there, who are involved in the church. And because they're just cool, genuine, chill people. Like, those type of churches would get so many people. You'd get so many heathens. That's just a food for thought. But at the same time, when you're not a Christian anymore, it is kind of difficult to be open and honest, because you do know that you're going to face that criticism. You're going to face the backlash. But just understand and know that that backlash and criticism is not going to last forever. It's not at all going to last forever. That backlash that you're receiving eventually is going to roll off your shoulders. You're going to learn how to just be like, okay, cool. That's how you feel. You know, I can't get mad at you for how you feel. You can't get mad at me for not giving a shit. It's very simple. So it becomes so much easier for you to just accept it and to move on. Because at the end of the day, you know, we all have a right to believe what we believe, and we all have a right to feel free if we feel free when we leave, and we have a right to feel free if we feel free when we're a part of the religion. Because a lot of people will say, if they're Christian, they'll say, I've been freed through Christ. I used to say the same thing. Now, I'm going to be honest. When I would say that, it took me a long while to understand how that would make any sense to be true, because I always thought, wouldn't I be more free if I wasn't a Christian? Because I could kind of just like do what I want. Like, I could curse and not feel guilty. I could wear a bikini and not feel guilty. I could get just a little bit of drunk and have fun and not feel guilty. You know, like, and I mean fun, like fun with friends, and that's what I mean. But you kind of can't, you know, you kind of can't. So yes, it does feel free when you leave. It does feel free. And it just didn't make sense to me how it could feel free to stay. But I understand that a lot of Christians do feel free, and a lot of them feel free because they feel like they've been saved and they don't have to worry, and God's always there, and all that great stuff. And it's true. God is always there for you. You shouldn't have to worry. You should feel free through whoever you feel is Christ, whether it's God, the universe, Jesus, whoever, Allah. But in the same, at the same time, on the flip side to that, you also have people like me who are not Christian anymore. We consider ourselves to be more spiritual, or we're agnostic, or, you know, we kind of believe in something, and we feel free. We feel free too. It feels refreshing. Why does it feel refreshing? It feels refreshing when you leave Christianity, because finally all of those things that I explained as feeling confined, everything that's under the category of confinement, is no longer there. It just no longer exists anymore. And now you can be yourself. You can be yourself, and you feel so freaking free because you have the choice. You have the choice. So yes, I do believe we were given free will. I was actually talking to a coworker about this earlier. I do believe that we were given free will, right? We were given free will. We get to choose which direction we're going to go. We get to choose what path we make, what path we take. We get to choose what decisions we make. We get to choose if we're going to go down to the left or to the right, or if we're going to stay straight or zigzag or make a U-turn. We get to choose all of those things. And that is a choice that we were given. I do believe we were given that by whoever our creator is, whoever created the universe. We were given that. But the thing is that when it comes to religion, you don't really feel that way. A lot of people don't feel that way because they don't have the choice. It's more like, well, you got to do this anyway. well, you gotta believe in this anyway. Well, this is what we do because we're Christian. And you may be one of the black sheep, one of the odd ones who are like, I don't know if I really agree with that. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with the fact that I shouldn't do this or I shouldn't say this or like I kind of feel like as long as you're not hurting anyone, I kind of feel like as long as you're doing something good for the world, I kind of feel like as long as you're giving and you're giving with your whole heart and you're loving people unconditionally, no matter what, it's unconditional, and you are being yourself, then I should still be loved. I should still be accepted. It should be the same for me whether I follow a Bible or not. But that's not the reality of it. The reality of it is that if you are not a Christian, you are considered to be living in sin. And I am not bashing or putting down the Christian religion again. I'm not putting down the faith for anyone who's a part of it. But this is just the reality. When we put our real feelings to the side and just like really think about what the reality of it is. I mean, this is really what it is at the end of the day. When I was in Christianity, this is basically how I thought. And I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong, but when you are believing something, that is how you believe. And I'm sorry, I completely went off again. When I was talking about the choices. Oh, yeah, so Christians don't believe that they're. No, I'm sorry. Let me not say it like that. A lot of Christians don't. They don't. Damn, what's the word I'm looking for? They kind of don't take it in that way. Like, I'm sorry. Like you have a choice. It's like you're a Christian, boom, that's it. When you're not a Christian, you have choices because again, universe, God, whoever your creator you believe is to be has given you the free choice, the free will. And it feels refreshing. It just feels very refreshing to leave. It feels very good when you were given the choice because you know what? You're going to make choices that may not be so great. They may not work out so well. They may not be the best choice, but you're going to learn from that. Regardless, you're going to learn from that choice that you made because it's a lesson. And the minute that I started looking at everything as a lesson, that's when I started to realize, like, you know what? This probably wasn't too bad. Maybe I don't need to regret making that choice. Maybe I don't need to regret doing that thing because I learned a lesson. And even though it didn't work out, I did learn something. And it doesn't mean like you could purposely go and intentionally do stupid stuff to learn lessons over and over again. But I'm speaking about those situations where you did put some thought into it, but you still kind of went in a certain direction. And maybe for whatever reason, you thought it was going to work out and it didn't. You still learned the lesson. I see everything in life as a lesson, and I feel like lessons are meant to help us to be able to get through life. There are many different tools that we have that can get us through life. But when I was in Christianity, I always thought that the only one that could ever help me get through life is Jesus. And if I didn't have Jesus, then I didn't have anything and I was just a sinner. And that's not at all true. And that was what helps me to feel like it was okay to be myself. And that's what also helped me feel more free was when my mind began to open. I allowed my creativity to come out. I allowed myself to ask the questions. I allowed myself to do research, to learn, to enjoy and indulge in certain things that I felt. And indulging, I'm not talking about anything crazy. I'm talking about things I'm learning, like Buddhism. Like I'm not a Buddhist, but there are certain things in Buddhism that I will put apply to my life because I feel like it works. So I may indulge in certain things in that. Or I may feel like it's okay for me to believe a little bit of this, but not take the whole thing. Or it's okay for me to kind of see things the way I see things instead of feeling like I have to force myself to see things the way I'm supposed to be told that I have to see things because of the Bible. So I know. I feel like I'm talking so much. It's a long video, but this is just something that I just got on my mind earlier, and I really just felt like sharing it with you. Um, it's a good little podcast to listen to on your drive home. But yeah, it does feel free. It does feel free. And if you are, I'm concluding this video right now. If you're somebody who has left religion and you feel free, and you're confused by that emotion, you're like, wait, I'm not supposed to feel free. I'm supposed to feel like now Satan has captured me and I'm going to hell and I'm going to roast for all eternity. That feeling is going to go away. you continue to focus on yourself, focus on healing, focus on self-love, self-care. Learn the things that you feel you need to learn. You do not have to toss every single ounce of Christianity away. If you still believe in Jesus and you still believe in a God, but you're not sure what that God is, but you believe Jesus existed, then that's cool too. If you feel like you don't believe in any God at all, you don't even believe in the universe, you feel like this is also like the Big Bang Theory, that's cool too. When you're an atheist, that's cool too. You're a freaking human being. You're a person. You had your free will. You get to make your choice. You make your choice. None of us came into this world knowing what the right choice is, but we make our choice. If you feel like you want to explore and learn and do research on different things, it is okay. It's okay to not feel like it's a sinful thing to do when you decide that you want to learn about different things. You want to take a part of different cultures or different things that normally you would have not done when you were a Christian because it was considered sinful. I couldn't do yoga because it was sinful. Witches are evil. Psychedelics are for people who have no life and people who just want to do bad, crazy things. All of these different thoughts that people have taught you and that you've carried on throughout your life, you finally can release, but that will take time. It is a process, but it can be done. So just take it day by day. I took it day by day, and it may take a couple of years, and that's okay depending on how long you were a part of religion. But don't ever feel like you're alone or like you're the only one who feels this way, because 100%. You're not the only one. There are many people who have gone through this and who are currently going through it and who have gotten through it. And I thankfully can say I have definitely gotten through it. I believe that we're here to live our life in a happy way. I believe that we are meant to live happily. And I believe that we need to do everything we can to try to be happy, to try to share happiness and share love and be grateful that we're here. Like, never mind why we're here, who sent us here, who's the one we're supposed to worship. Just be grateful you're here first. Just first be grateful. Thank you. Whoever you are, or Big Bang Theory, thank you. I'm just grateful I get to experience this human life, because I do believe there is something after this, and this is just kind of like a chapter 1. So that is pretty much all. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Remember, if you do enjoy this, do give me a thumbs up, share, like, and subscribe. And also join my Beautiful Souls Facebook group if you're someone who's recently left a cult. So anyone who has left a cult specifically, my Facebook group, the link is down below in the description box. I also do one-on-one calls. So if you do want to speak to me personally, I do book one-on-one calls. So the information and the pricing for that is in the link in the description box. And lastly, follow my other channel. I'm Tina Marie J. On this channel, I speak specifically for my women, and I speak on all different topics that do not relate to religion at all. So do come and check out my channel over there. All topics for women, and where we just talk our ish. Let's see, is that all I have? Oh, my last thing also, my digital store. Make sure you check out my digital product store. I do create these little like affirmation wallpapers. They're printables. So make sure you go check that out. And if you need to get in contact with me, all that information is down below, as well as my email, my Facebook, and my Instagram. Enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for listening.